To compute. All right. Hey, everybody. We've got our Team Flourish Book Club tonight doing Becoming a Person of Influence. And this is our second to last chapter. We are on chapter 9 of Empowers People, Mentor, Empower. Okay. And phew, I feel bad. I haven't been on a ton of in-person book clubs because literally every basketball game my son has had has been on book club and team call night. And that's not like me. I don't miss these things. But I have loved this book, and this chapter was amazing. And I say this every time, but I literally highlighted the entire thing. And so after a while, I stop highlighting and I just like draw boxes around paragraphs. But so powerful because when you start talking about empowering people, that is just um, it's exciting. I mean, this whole book, all the steps to get there, all the steps to becoming a person of influence is amazing. But when you get to empowering, that's when you are handing over some big responsibilities, I'd say, but like you are growing people and they are taking the reins and they are running with it. And that means that they have seen the influence, they've caught the vision and they are running. And you don't have to worry about it. Like that's what the goal is your goal is to bring people in that you see that they get it, that they know and that they are ready to go. And I think one of the quotes too later oh, it was kind of towards the end, but it was Abraham Lincoln. I just love what he said. I neither ask nor desire to know anything of your plans. Take the responsibility and act and call on me for assistance. That is total empowerment. When you trust someone so much, when you see that they've caught the vision, they know what to do, they are ready to go, they're strong in their leadership, they have people that they're influencing, and you can literally say, like, I trust you. I believe in you. And that's the other thing too, is like you believe in that person. You believe in them so much that you see that they're going to go above and beyond. And that's what empowering is. Um, yeah, I don't want to spend a ton of time talking here, but a big chunk that I was super excited about because I did a bunch of stars and I don't want to read through this whole thing, but it was in the middle of 178. When you become an empowerer, you work with and through people, but you do so much more. You enable others to reach the highest levels in their personal and professional development. Simply defined, empowering is giving your influence to others for the purpose of personal and organized growth. It's sharing yourself, your influence, position, power, and opportunities with others with the purpose of investing in their lives so they can function at their best. I was like, you guys, that's everything. I mean, obviously, that's what we do here in Plexus, but that's what I love about this. I mean, coming from a place of teaching, and I feel like, and it was funny because I was reading this. I thought about like when you have high expectations, people will rise to that. You know, something you have to talk about your expectations, and it talks about that in here, like qualifications for of an empowerer, and then each section, and it talked about in that section and then later too how to empower others to their potential. But a lot of it is like your expectations. Like if you give people expectations, if you teach them the way, if you guide them, then they will rise to those expectations. They will grow. Okay. And I saw that when I taught kids too. Like when I taught little kids, and it seems so mundane and small, but like I had high expectations of the kids I taught with skills that we learned, exercises we did, like growing their fitness and different things. And they rose to that. They did. They rose to that. And we worked on, and then if we saw that things need to be tweaked, it talks about that in here too. It's so much, it really is just teaching and being willing to help somebody grow and help guide them down that path and being willing to stick with them through it. Okay. And then when they get there, your goal is to work yourself out of a job. That is your goal. It really is. And he says that in here. And that is actually part of those questions. Like that was like, ooh, 181, like you need to look at how do you feel about this? Like if you're struggling in this, then there's some things that you maybe need to look at in your leadership and how you're trying to help people and grow other people's leadership and empower them. And that's one of the things. Are you ready to work yourself out of a job? And speaking from someone who has leaders that I really don't need to lead, they honestly, I learned so much from them. That is like my biggest joy. Like your joy, same with our kids, right? Your job is to launch them. It's the same thing. Like we want our kids to want us yet and need us, but really our job is in our work, in our teams, in our leaders, in our kids, and our families. Our job is to help people grow so that they can go out and make an impact and they can help in whatever area of expertise that they're helping into. So this is just, I love this chapter so, so much. And I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say. So I'm going to stop talking and let you guys chime in.
All right, I'll go first really quick because I have to put a teething baby to sleep. So I really, really liked the two quotes that are back to back on 178. The first one says, no matter how much work you can do, no matter how engaging your personality may be, you will not advance far in business if you cannot work through others. The second one says, it doesn't make much difference how much other knowledge or experience an executive possesses. If he is unable to receive or achieve results through other people, he is worthless as an executive. I really liked those because I feel like what you guys as diamonds do is you develop systems or skill sets or whatever. And so you work hard to create these things, and then you give us the things and you get to see them work out through us. And if duplication happens correctly, you get to literally see that just working itself out and working itself out and working itself out through others. And if you thought of like being a diamond as being an executive, you guys couldn't have a diamond team unless you were working through others, right? Like it would be pretty impossible to recruit yourself to diamond. I mean, maybe, but it would be pretty hard. So those two I just really, really liked because it reminded me that when we're pouring into leaders and builders, or we're taking things that we're taking from you guys as diamonds and then we're pouring that onto someone else, that's literally that act of us working through others. And if you think of that biblically, like discipleship, that's exactly what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to take those systems, and those things that we're taught and work them out through others. And so I just really liked that connection I made for myself.
That's so good, Justina. Um, so as I was reading this chapter, I don't think it talked about it. Maybe it did, but it kind of came to me after just kind of my thoughts about this chapter generally. And two words that came to me were honor and responsibility. And I feel like when we are doing our jobs as leaders and empowering others, it is a high honor to do that. I mean, when you have people that want to follow you and that are willing to learn, that's an honor. And I mean, it just really, really weighed on me what an honor it is for us to lead people, whether that's our business builders, our customers. I don't know. And then responsibility, yeah, we want to help them, right? So, like, we all have things that and I will be 100% honest, like, I don't ever feel qualified to be a great leader. Like, I always feel like, oh, I could be doing this better, or I don't know how to do this. But it's my responsibility, if I am leading people, to learn and to grow in that. And so we're all learning and growing together, which is also an honor. And I don't know, just those two words just kept coming to me over and over. And another thing, Chris, you kind of touched on, and the part in the chapter, my book pages are different than you guys's, so I'm not going to say my page number, but where he talks about point 5, publicly show your confidence in them. that is something that does not come naturally for me. And so I felt really convicted and reminded that I need to do that more, not only for my team, but it made me think back of um, when I was a child and I was praised in front of other people, whether it was in the classroom or in a sport, or I played music. So like I excelled at music. So when my music teacher praised me in front of an audience, like think of what that does to a child, right? When you build somebody up publicly. But we need to do that as adults about each other and our teams. And I know we shout each other out in our team pages when, somebody makes a, a rank, or, you know, qualifies for leadership board or whatever. But sometimes we need to just be like, hey, I'm proud of you because you reached out all month. And even though you didn't get a join, you did the work, you know? And it was just a really good conviction for me to be a little bit more intentional about praising people publicly, not maybe for their results, but for their efforts. So I wanted to mention that as well.
Okay, I'm gonna slip in here. It's Janelle's birthday today, you guys. Happy birthday, friend. I hope it's been a good day. Emily, good shout out. All right. Anybody can add more.
Well, as I was thinking about empowering, it made me think, of the Holy Spirit. That's the work of the Holy Spirit to empower us. And I thought, us as humans are not able to empower people perfectly. As much as we want to and we desire to, and as we grow in our knowledge of it, like we're doing things like this, book clubs, and reading other things besides our book club, but we still need that empowerment of the Holy Spirit. So, along with all of this, and John Maxwell will be the first one too to talk about it, that we need prayer, we need the Holy Spirit, and so that's a big thing that I thought of with empowerment. So not that I didn't like the book, because it's great, but that just kept coming back to me, that we need help. We need the Holy Spirit to help us. So
I'm gonna jump in here before I lose my nerve. That's so good, Jer. But on page 184, when the little farm boy took the eagle egg and he put it under the chicken and it hatched, and it acted like a chicken, and it says, not until he had seen one of his kind flying did he know that he was, or what he was capable of doing. And I can tell you that I have seen that in all of you leaders that go before us and teach and tread that path before we go. I felt like a chicken until I saw all you guys flying like crazy. And I was like, these are real people. I know these women and they love me and I love them, and I can be an eagle.
I know that you guys, many of you already covered what was on 178, but that was so huge. And it talks about you can increase their abilities without decreasing yourself. And I think that is so true in our Plexus community. People give and give and give of themselves, but it doesn't decrease them. It increases them, and it increases us. And I am just so thankful and so appreciative of everything that everybody empowers all of us with, because it is increasing us. And that's what we're called to do, is to love upon each other, to mentor each other, and to help each other along. And it doesn't mean that, it takes away from anything if we need help. It just adds to who we are. And I love that.
one thing that stuck out to me was a quote that said, it was on 177 from Tom Peters, actually. So, but he quoted him, techniques don't produce quality products or pick up the garbage on time. People do, people who care, people who are treated as creatively contributing adults. So that just made me think about it's not the checking the boxes or the systems or having everything perfectly, like every perfect technique or whatever we do. Systems are fantastic and great. They make things run smooth, but systems don't create leaders. Systems don't duplicate leaders. And that's where the empowering comes in. That's where what he talks about, people who care, people who are investing in other people, that is what creates the leaders and duplicates that. And um, is so, so important in terms of growth in our team. So sometimes, we can get in the habit of maybe checking the boxes or going through the motions or just getting through the day when things are tough, and we might have those days, but if we're lacking that people connection, if we're lacking that intentionality with empowering people, then we may lack the duplication that is needed for creating leaders who are creating leaders who are creating leaders, which is what we all want to do because we want that impact, right? It's not just about us, it's about helping others go where we want to go and bringing other people along in the journey. So getting deeper and being more intentional is extremely important when it comes to creating the growth needed to continue to move forward and succeed in this. And having an empowerment is where that all comes into place. You can't get that through the systems and just making sure you're following like to a T certain things, right? It comes on a whole different level.
Jamie, I'm gonna jump in just from what you said. You guys, we never had systems. We didn't know what we were doing. I certainly didn't. Like the systems are new. Really, I don't know, maybe other teams had them. I mean, but our systems were like just talk to people, post every day, talk to people about Plexus, answer questions, but we just did it. But it was the relationships is what it was. And it was relationship after relationship around after relationship. So that's really true. I mean, we love our systems, right? It does help, right? That's good, but it's all about people. People do. So good, Jamie.
So I'm always about other resources that like tie with something that I'm reading. And I was thinking about this book, A Leader's Greatest Return, when I was reading this chapter. This was the first book that I read for a book club when I started almost 5 years ago. Like this was the first book, and this sold me on doing this business and the community just because like this is the culture of what we do is empowering and raising up other people, and the Lord blesses that. I mean, I've been in organizations that do not do that, and I remember like coming to Jamie multiple times and being like, wow, this is a healthy work environment, this is good, like what we have is just very, very unique. But he goes into detail on how to like, okay, how do you empower people for 30 pages. So if you have this book, check it out. I thought this was a really good follow-up. I didn't get through all of it yet, but a lot of really good specifics, even like how to gain credibility with people, and then like 10 steps for how to empower them. So highly recommend. It's probably on one of his blogs or something somewhere too. I often like look up, like subjects that John Maxwell talks about, like if there's a chapter on it. So just wanted to pass that on.
Thanks, Leah. Anyone else?
I really liked the stuff on 185 or sorry, 183 and 184 as far as how to empower others to their potential. This was good because even as a diamond, I felt like some of the things I was reading, like I needed a reminder about that, just how to do this. And some things come naturally for me, some things don't. Some things I need to remember that's a skill that I need to work on and learn better and continue to do or cultivate or you know, uh, just learn. And the knowledge, skill, and desire part is so important, you guys. I think when you are bringing new people in here and developing them, if you have somebody that's really excited to do this, um, think about what they need to know, ask them questions, right? And then examine their skill level. And your job is to find out what the job requires and make sure your people have what they need to succeed. So that's your job to figure that out, right? And it's not hard to know really what they need to be successful in this. It's very duplicatable. Like Chris said, we have systems, we have everything to be successful here. But they have to have a desire too. And so along with that desire, you guys, you need to cast vision. You need to help them see why they should desire this business, right? You need to help them see what it is about Plexus that is what you just heard on Team Call tonight. The best network marketing company out there, hands down. And we can help them develop that desire that they can have to, really have this stickability and want to be here with us. And then you have to model all that. I love that he put that. We have got to model everything you want your team to do, you have to do it. People do what people see, right? And so you can't expect your team to be doing things if you aren't doing them and modeling it for them first. All right. So if you want them showing up in team calls and book clubs and talking, then you have to do that. If you want them posting every day and they're not posting every day, you have to start posting every day if you're not, right? All the things. I mean, you can't, John Maxwell, think about him in his leadership role. He has modeled everything, right? And he is where he is because of that. And so just think about that when you don't feel like showing up for the day or whatever. Well, I have a team that I'm developing and they're watching me, and I'm going to get up and show up anyway, even if I don't feel like it, because that's how I model. That's what I want my team to do. So that's what I'm going to do. So I just loved that part. It was a good reminder for me again. And yeah, just wanted to share that. So
Thanks, Sal. I love that section too. It is. It really was a step by step. Like, do it this way. And just a quick thing about modeling, like if you don't have anybody, because sometimes that's what people will say, well, I don't have anybody yet. Well, you're preparing. Like Jamie said earlier in the if you guys were reading the comments, she said if she can do it, I can do it. And so if you don't have anybody getting on the team calls or book clubs yet, or if you don't have anybody sharing, you doing those things, you modeling what this business looks like, you're preparing yourself to be modeling that for somebody else. They're coming. And so if you've established those habits, they're going to see that. And you doing it shows other people what's possible. So like you posting every day shows other people it's not scary to post every day. You reaching out to people will prove to them that they can do that too. So just that's where that model comes in. Even if you don't have somebody you're empowering yet, you are building that muscle within yourself. So don't forget that. All right. Well, it's 9 Central, 10 Eastern. So I don't know if we have any other time zones going on here, but we probably should wrap it up. unless anybody has something really pressing on their heart. I know what I get like that sometimes. I get like hot and my heart starts to pound, like, oh, shoot. And then we close out. I'm like, well, that's okay. Then it wasn't meant to be said. But so if you have something to share, quick, pop it in. And if not, we'll close out. Thanks, you guys. Yeah, great book, great night of calls, super inspiring. And yeah, just love it. Love our team. Love you all. Thanks for jumping on. See you later.